Welcome to our 6th episode of Child Sexual Abuse Prevention by Zina podcast. I'm your host, Zina Poncel. Hi guys, thank you for popping on. In this episode, I'm going to provide you with a list of children's body safety books to choose from. Now, I'll admit it, I have not read these. I simply pulled them from the best customer reviews online so you would have a quick go-to list for you to look into and for you to decide if the book or books is what you're looking for to read to your child about body safety. So here's what I'm going to do. I'll read the title and the age group the book was written for, and then I'll read the overview that's provided with the book. If you're driving or running or whatever you're doing, just listen. If one of these books sounds like something you would like to read to your child, you can go to this podcast description later today or tomorrow or whenever you're sitting still. Remember, it's episode 6, and I'll have the books listed there. So for now, no need to stop what you're doing. Keep doing you. Oh yeah, a little side note. No one is paying me to advertise their books for them. I personally don't know anyone associated with the making of or distribution of these books. I may dig a little deeper and order books to review in a future podcast, but for now, I just wanted to provide you some additional tools in helping your children learn about body safety. I have run across a book on Amazon, and there's a series of them. The first one is Where Hands Go, An Introduction to Safe and Unsafe Touch. The second one is Where Hands Go, Body Safety Rules. And then the third one is Where Hands Go, The Power of No. Again, I have not read these. I'm looking at them for the first time, but so far I kind of like what I see. All right, so the name of the one I'm going to go over is Where Hands Go, An Introduction to Safe and Unsafe Touch on Amazon. I'm just going to read a little bit about it, and then let me pull this up real quick. Okay, let me read this to you. This is on Where Hands Go, An Introduction to Safe and Unsafe Touch. When is it all right for someone to touch you? Growing up can be confusing. Not only is there a wide world we need to learn about, we must learn how to accept and deal with others every day. Spending so much time learning can be tiring, but every lesson we have helps make us into better people. One of the first lessons everyone needs to learn is when it is appropriate to be touched by someone else. Where Hands Go is a carefully crafted book, handsomely illustrated for parents to teach their children about the dangers of inappropriate touching. While most of the people we meet in life are nice, there are some with bad intentions. Every child needs to understand when it is all right to be touched, how, and by who. Where Hands Go is presented by the Kids Again Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping children overcome the trauma of being sexually abused. The world continues becoming a dangerous place, making this book a must-read for every family. Kind of like that. Again, I have not read any of these books. I'm just cruising through them, trying to give you guys some information. So again, this one is Where Hands Go, and it's a series of them. And the one I was actually looking at was An Introduction to Safe and Unsafe Touch. Here's another book I've run across. It's called Body Safety Book for Kids by Tim. And that is the title, Body Safety Book for Kids by Tim. Learn through story about safe circles, private parts, confidence, personal space bubbles, safe touching, consent. And here's a little description on it about the body safety part. Do you want to help your kids learn about personal space, body safety, and how to be confident? In this beautiful picture book, Body Safety Book for Kids by Tim, Tim is a young boy who learns how to overcome the struggle of an older boy at school invading his personal space. Learn with Tim as he shows how to recognize when he feels unsafe and uncomfortable and how he overcomes his own body safety challenge by himself and through finding help from his safety circle. With real-life examples based on ideas of social emotional learning, Body Safety Book for Kids by Tim will help your child with their awareness of discomfort, personal space, body bubbles, and confidence with a fun story and no lecturing. Makes it easier to talk about difficult subjects like body safety, private parts, and personal space. Helps kids recognize and manage feelings of fear and anger through real-life examples. Perfect for toddlers, preschoolers, and kids ages 2 through 10. Introduce and learn simple techniques. Help improve personal space and body safety skills for children. So, and that one is available on Amazon, and it looks like it's a 4.6 rating, so it's up there. Okay, our next book that we're going to talk about is My Body Belongs to Me From My Head to My Toes, the Safe Child, Happy Parent series. It's a hardcover book, mostly a picture book. Now, every parent, grandparent, or teacher can explain to a child the difference between appropriate and inappropriate touching in a way that young boys and girls can understand. As a child, there are constantly people trying to pick you up, hug you, or tickle you. Sometimes, though, children fall victims to people who try to touch them inappropriately. But how do you tell someone, most likely an adult, that you don't want to be touched? Or if it has already happened, how do you tell an adult you trust about what happened? You're only a child, and they're the adults. Why would they believe you? My Body Belongs to Me From My Head to My Toes is an educational tool to help instill confidence in children when it comes to their bodies. The narrative of the story is led by a girl named Clara, who encourages kids to say no if they are uncomfortable with physical contact. The narrator gives readers tips about what they can say or do to avoid unwanted physical contact, or how to tell the right people in the event it has already occurred. My Body Belongs to Me, From My Head to My Toes, is an invaluable resource that gives children a voice in uncomfortable situations. Again, I have not read this book, but it sounds like a pretty good one. So anyway, there's that one. My Body Belongs to Me From My Head to My Toes, the Safe Child, Happy Parent series. And this one is for ages 2 and up as well. This book I'm fixing to read information to you about is called My Body is Special and Private, and it's a board book. And this one came out in 2018, I believe. Here, let me click on here. Okay, this Introduction to Body Safety book is designed to empower and educate the youngest of readers to understand that their bodies are special and deserving of respect, in that it is always right to tell. Okay, to my understanding, this book goes over... Oh, let me read you a whole other section, okay? Don't go nowhere. Okay, recommended for children ages 2 and up. This book was created to help parents and caregivers introduce or reinforce the concepts of privacy and body safety to children learning for the first time, and for those not quite ready to handle a longer book and or more complex concepts like secrets, tricks, and intuition. In 10 short pages, children are taught their bodies belong to them. Some parts are private. Private is a word that means it's not meant for sharing. Proper terminology for genitalia. It is a rule that privates are not for looking, touching, or playing games. All adults know the rules about private parts, and if a rule is broken, it is always right to tell a safe adult, and that it's an adult's job to keep children safe. Okay, and this says, we hope you'll use this book as a launching point for talking about body safety. It's printed in a sturdy board book format so that even the youngest of readers can hold and turn the pages on their own. Okay, and this book is, I think the proceeds from it go to the Mama Bear Effect. So you can go to the mamabeareffect.org, and they are about educating children and preventing child sexual abuse. Okay. In fact, you can go to, still reading here, the book can be previewed in full on our organizational website, the mamabeareffect.org. So look for our best-selling body safety rules magnet. Now through Amazon. Again, these people don't know me. I don't know them. I just ran across this online, as you can. I found this on Amazon, so it's something worth maybe looking into. And anything where a nonprofit receives funding for, receives proceeds for, it has to do with child sexual abuse prevention. I'm kind of in on that. So anyway, that's another book to check out. My Body is Special and Private. And that was from ages 2 and up. It's kind of geared for ages 2 to 4, but ages 2 and up. The name of the next children's book about body safety is Let's Talk About Body Boundaries, Consent, and Respect. Teach children about body ownership, respect, feelings, choices, and recognizing bullying behaviors. This book is about teaching young children about body boundaries, both theirs and others, is crucial to a child's growing sense of self, their confidence, and how they should expect to be treated by others. A child growing up knowing they have a right to their own personal space gives that child ownership and choices as to what happens to them and to their body. It is equally important a child understands from a very young age they need to respect another person's body boundary and ask for their consent when entering their personal space. This book explores these concepts with children in a child-friendly and easily understood manner, providing familiar scenarios for children to engage with and discuss. It is important that the reader and the child take the time required to unpack each scenario and explore what they mean both to the character in the book who may not be respecting someone's body boundary and to the character who is being disrespected. It is through these vital discussions that children will learn the meaning of body boundaries, consent, and respect. Learning these key social skills through such stories as Let's Talk About Body Boundaries, Consent, and Respect, and role modeling by significant adults can, importantly, carry forward into a child's teenage years and adult life. Now, this book, I believe, this book is for ages 4 through 7. Okay, this book that says Let's Talk About Body Boundaries, Consent, and Respect is for ages 4 through 7. This was an interesting, it looks like a cute little book I found on Amazon. All of these that I'm reading to you are from Amazon. It can probably be found other places too, but I just went to Amazon because they have the largest selection. So anyway, Teach Your Dragon Body Safety, a story about personal boundaries, appropriate and inappropriate touching. Now, I believe there are a series of books called My Dragon Books, but this is one of the books in those series that's literally about body safety. Okay? So I'm going to read you what the little summary is on it. Here we go. Having a pet dragon is so much fun. You can teach him to sit, roll over, and play. You can teach him to make friends, control his anger, overcome his anxiety, show respect, and many more. But how do you teach him about the delicate subject about body safety? How do you help him understand appropriate and inappropriate touching? How do you prepare him to deal with different real-life problematic situations? How do you teach him about protecting his body and his privacy? How does he know to respond and tell others that he doesn't want to be touched? What can he do when someone makes him feel uncomfortable? Who does he talk to or ask for help when he feels unsafe? How can you teach him to be in control of his own body and respect others' personal boundaries? And so much more. This book is written from a children's point of view, fun, cute, and entertaining. It's a must-have book for parents, teachers, counselors, and educators to gently teach kids about body safety, inappropriate and appropriate touching, and appropriate response to keep kids safe. So that's the overview on the book. And again, the name of it is Teach Your Dragon Body Safety, and it's from a child's perspective. So the child in the book is actually teaching the dragon about body safety, and that gives a whole different perspective from it. So it's pretty cute. I might even get this one just to read. Heck, I might read this one online later. Who knows where I'm headed with all this stuff. But anyway, this will probably be my last book for today as far as introducing you to it. Again, I have not personally read any of these books. I will say there's a book called Sam's Secret that I have read probably hundreds of times in schools to children. It's not available, to my understanding, on Amazon. It is through the radKIDS program, which was Resisting Aggression Defensively. That's called radKIDS. It's a whole program that we used to do in the school systems to teach actually children physical self-defense. We teach them self-defense moves. They were not allowed to use it in bullying because radKIDS are cool kids. But anyway, I think in the very first or second episode, I mentioned it as far as, and in fact, there's a website in the description on one of those episodes in the beginning of all these podcasts where you can go to it and just kind of look it up. But I don't think it's available online. I think it's only if the school is, or someone, it doesn't have to be a school, it can be just a group or organization, is presenting radKIDS. That book is actually read to the children through that program. But that's the main book that I'm familiar with, that I'm used to reading all the time in school systems. But it's called Sam's Secret. Again, I don't think it's available. I couldn't find it. I don't think it's available online. They had talked about putting it online later. But right now, I think it's only through the radKIDS program, and I don't believe it's sold separately from the program. But anyway, thank you guys for listening to me today as I present you with a few of these little books. I will probably go into more detail in a later episode. Remember, this podcast is just kind of cranking up, but I hope to have many more to go. And in some of those later down the road, I may actually read some of these books. I may say, hey, the next episode, I'll be reading this book. You preview it, and then if you're okay with it, you can let your child hear it. Maybe while y'all are riding down the road or something. So anyway, who knows where I'm headed with all this. But I will tell you this. Any books, if you choose to get a book to read to your child about body safety, you must review it first before you read it to your child. Don't go grab a book and automatically read it. You need to know the content, okay? And you know the age of your child, and you need to know if you maybe change some words in it. And I'm not talking about like genitalia, because to me, they really need to know what penis and vagina is as far as part of their body part. We'll get into all that later. But anyway, just be sure if you read a body safety book to your child, you have previewed it, prepared yourself for questions. And again, if you can't answer a question, tell your little person, that is a very good question. I'll find out an answer and I will let you know. So don't let these books scare you, but I do want you to preview it. You shouldn't read anything to your child without you knowing what's in the content first. Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Thank you for looking out for your little people, medium-sized people, and your tall people, all your kids. And I will visit you later on episode 7, which will be next week. Y'all have a great day.
Don't forget to be safe. I appreciate it.